What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Oh, welcome if it's your first time here. No doubt you've heard about these attacks on the power grid. It's happened in North Carolina, now it's happening in Washington State, and they seem to be spreading out across the U.S. And in my opinion, this isn't the work of just one lone individual or one group, but I think it's separate individuals or separate groups that's carrying this out. And I don't know who it is. It could be people on the far right, like they're trying to claim, or it could be people on the far left, or it could be a combination of both to, they think, push their political agendas, whether it be right or left. But predictably, the mainstream media is taking the opportunity to automatically point the finger at the right because that fits their political narrative. They want to blame the people on the right, the far right conservatives, the mega Republicans, because that's who they want to demonize. If you have the power go out for, thousands of people, then you have the mainstream media claiming that it's the far right without any proof whatsoever and still trying to point fingers, the people in those locations are going to be blaming those conservatives, those people who believe in the Constitution. If you believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the founding principles of this country, you are a far right conservative, you are an extremist. And those are people they want to demonize, and the media will take any opportunity they can to cause that to happen. What we're seeing now, they're automatically blaming the right. They're blaming conservatives. They're saying it could be white supremacists, it could be anti-LGBTQR plus people. And it could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could also be people on the left. We know that Antifa carries out terrorist attacks. Or like I said, it could be both, doing this at different times in different locations and trying to carry these things out. Because they want to cause fear, they want to cause harm, because they think that it will further their political agendas. And in my opinion, it's not going to work to further any political agenda. All it's going to do is ultimately hurt people like you, people like me, people who are just trying to make a living, people who are trying to get by. That's who it's going to hurt. So, if you're watching this video and you're planning on doing this, don't do that. It's not going to do any good as far as pushing your political agenda forward. All it's going to do is hurt families, hurt businesses. So, just, don't do that. But it's beginning to spread just like everything else. When you see, for example, a shooting that happens, some mass shooting somewhere, it's not just one, it happens over and over again. Usually in at least groups of 3 over about a month. That's been what I've normally saw. But I think this is going to keep on spreading out, going to start happening more and more frequently, because the right or the left aren't happy with the way things are going in this country. So they're going to keep trying to do things to push their agenda along. And like I said, if they can, and all they can, the mainstream media is going to point blame to the right because it fits their agenda. But anyways, guys, this article here that was published on the 25th, December 25th, 2022 at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 17 hours ago, from WVOT Channel 8 News in Knoxville, Tennessee. 3 Washington State electric substations vandalized. Vandalism at 3 power substations in western Washington early Sunday initially cut power to about 14,000 utility customers, the Pierce County Sheriff's Office said. The attacks come as federal officials are warning that the U.S. power grid needs better security to prevent domestic terrorism after a large outage in North Carolina earlier this month that took days to repair. And these will become more effective, I think, as people learn how to attack these more effectively, to cause more and more damage and to cause the power to go out for longer periods of time. And I think this is going to also spread from just the power grid. They're going to start attacking, cell towers and water treatment facilities and places like that, because those are also very, very vulnerable, unfortunately. In January, a U.S. Department of Homeland Security report warned that domestic extremists have been developing credible, specific plans to attack electricity infrastructure since at least 2020. Tacoma Public Utilities reported vandalism at about 5:30 a.m. Sunday at one substation, followed by vandalism at a second substation, the sheriff's office said. The outages affected about 7,300 customers in an area southwest of Tacoma. Just before noon, the utility had restored power to all but 2,700 customers whose power was estimated to be restored at about 6:30 p.m. Sunday. Meanwhile, just before noon, Puget Sound Energy reported vandalism that had happened at about 2:30 a.m. Sunday caused a power outage at one of its substations. The nearly 7,700 customers who lost power had it restored by 5 a.m. In all three cases, the sheriff's office says someone forced their way into the fenced area surrounding the substations and damaged equipment to cause a power outage. So these weren't shot from a long distance. Someone actually broke in and vandalized with the intent to cause power outages. And guys, this article that was published on the New York Post is talking about the attacks that happened in North Carolina a few weeks ago. Over 40,000 in the dark after North Carolina power substations shot up. He's looking at a bullet hole there. A state of emergency is in effect in a North Carolina county after two power stations were fired at and left riddled with bullets, plunging thousands of homes in the darkness, officials said Sunday, and this is from a few weeks ago. No one knows who launched the attack Saturday on the equipment, which left over 40,000 people in the dark, but the incident in Moore County is being probed as intentional and a criminal act, authorities said. Of course, if it was shot, it was definitely intentional. No group has stepped up to acknowledge or accept that they're the ones that done it, Moore County Sheriff Ronnie Fields said during a press conference, adding the FBI was working with the state investigators to locate whoever is responsible. Fields said someone opened fire on the substation. The same thing with the other one, though no motive for the crime was determined yet. The lights began going out just after 7 p.m. Sunday. So these people, whoever it is, are attacking these substations, but they're not having any demands. They're not saying who they are. They're not claiming responsibility. You know, most terrorist groups will claim responsibility and give you their demands. They will say, you need to do this or more attacks will happen. They're not seeing that here. All they're seeing is people vandalizing, people shooting up these substations, and no one is claiming responsibility and no one is demanding anything. So that kind of puts up a red flag to me that it's not, you know, a group, that it might be individuals that's doing this on their own in different locations. They're hearing about this on the mainstream media, on the news and videos and things like this and articles and things, and they're thinking, hey, I can cause some aggravation and some trouble. So they're going out and doing this on their own maybe. Because I think if it was a group, actual group, they would do this. They would cause the power grid to go down like for 40,000 customers here, and they would make demands. They would say, stop doing this, do this instead, do this, that, or something else, because they always have demands. They would claim responsibility for this, but no one's doing that. They're just shooting things, vandalizing things, causing the power to go out, and it's silence, which doesn't make any sense to me. Could it be, you know, someone in the government doing this, some agency doing this in the government maybe, because they're trying to blame people on the right because it fits the narrative? Who knows? You know, I don't know who's doing this. I have no idea who's actually doing this. Fields said someone opened fire on the substation. The same thing with the other one, though. No motive for the crime was determined yet. The lights began going out at 7 p.m. Saturday. He called the attack targeted and said law enforcement would provide security for the substations and businesses overnight. We faced something last night here in Moore County that we never faced before, Fields said, but I promise you we're going to get through this. He said rumors were circulating online that the attack was conducted to protest over a drag show at the local theater scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. However, investigators have not found any evidence the two were related. But guys, who do you think is responsible for these attacks? Go in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. And the Creekmore out here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.